Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. It's your man Boss Gang VIP back with the weekly money watch. Last week was absolutely amazing. I am looking forward to having another amazing week. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can get the updates as soon as they drop. Let's get into it. Like we always do, start off with a quick update on the Roth portfolio. Everything is going absolutely according to plan. If you know anybody who's interested in learning how to invest the right way, make sure to send them over to the channel and they can start with the very first video and work their way and see how we got to these current results. This week is expected to be bearish overall. I'm going to break that down. I'm going to tell you how we're going to play it this week. Monday, the 19th, New York Fed President John Williams, Fed Vice Chair Philip Jefferson, and U.S. leading economic indicators. Tuesday, Richmond Fed President Barkin speaks. A lot of Fed speeches throughout the day. Wednesday, the 21st, Fed President Tom Barkin, Governor Michelle Bowman take part in the Fed Listens event. Thursday, initial jobless claims, flash services, existing home sales, more Fed speak. And then Friday, we have Kansas City Fed President Jeff Smith speech, new home sales, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook speech. And then Saturday, 2:40 p.m., Federal Reserve Jerome Powell commencement address. Now, it's interesting to have Jerome Powell be speaking on a Sunday, which might do something to the market going into the next Monday. I believe I already know what's going to happen. So what my job to do is to help give you guys some guidance about how we can take advantage of the market and all the opportunities that it presents. Now, going into this week, historically speaking, overall, the market is bearish. The market will be bearish tomorrow. The market will be bearish Tuesday. You can pretty much mark that down. Wednesday, overall bearish as well. Thursday, there may be some picking up and some buying. And then Friday before Memorial Day, tends to be lackluster with light trading. It's down mixed, up 13 down, 12 average minus 0.3%, right? So it's mixed. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. But overall, we expect some cooling off in some of the stocks that have been really, really strong, right? And there are some stocks that are really, really at a discount that we expect to pick up. And then I'm going to give you the level. So expect 2 down days. What does that mean for us? Not much. We're still going to be profitable regardless, right? So let's go ahead and get into the setups for this week. Something I want to be conscious of. You see these levels on VIX right here. They came down to some price levels. I kept the charts clean just so you can kind of see where we are. We are got this broad information. So we're looking for VIX to hit $20, that just over $20 this week. So you can kind of, mark that off. I'm expecting VIX to hit $20 this week, right? So if I'm leading the way, right, I need to be able to put some numbers, right? So let's look at VIX to hit 20. If you like to play volatility, that's something you could take advantage of. Some people like the, maybe SPXU or UVXY, something like that, right? It's really up to you to find some things that you want to take advantage of. You don't have to, but just be aware. But the good thing is, once we know when it gets to about that 20 level, we should start to see potentially some recovery. It could go higher. We never know, but that's the level that I'm looking for immediately. And I'm guessing that will pop up overnight and we'll, open the morning with VIX. Now, the good thing is if you're in some plays that are already, looking good right now, that volatility helps you out with your options premium. Stocks we're looking at this week: Dollar General, Got a 2 week above $93.76. We'll see if we can get to around just $100 mark. Seems pretty clean there. Obviously, 3 2 year had some corrective activity. Nice inside week, pushed up toward the top of the range of previous week's close, and then we'll see if it can take off. Right. So this is the month level here, week level here, and this is short-term target just around $100. As far as corporate data goes, earnings June 3rd, before market on Dollar Generals. Yeah, so first stop we're looking at on Dollar General is around this $100 mark, and then ultimately this is going to take off. So what, if you're a shareholder or something like that, you get some shares of Dollar General. I see no reason why you couldn't make 30-50% in a pretty short term on a Dollar General, pushing back up at least at minimum to this yearly broad information around 30 in a short term, right? So pretty easy there. As long as you know where things are going to go, you can pretty much make a plan. A lot of people say, "How do you know where things are going to go?" Yeah, I've been doing it a long time, right? This is one of the things about the game. This is just a game, and so I say it's like a poker game. And they say if you don't know who the mark is, then it's probably you. This is just simple mechanics. I don't think too much. A lot of people like to talk about PE ratios and evaluations, but then when a stock like Palantir continues to go, then they're all out of whack. They don't know what's happening. How can the evaluation, be so out of whack? And then someone who loves the stock will say, well, it's going higher because of this. So it's like, is there such thing as overbought or anything like that? It's just simple mechanics, and if you understand it, you understand it. You just read price action, price action rules everything. People like a discount, institutions see a discount, they accumulate and they buy it, and people who don't buy the low, they chase, and that's just how it works. Mo, Mo's been super super strong, crazy uptrend. Um, you can see what the quarter looks like. It's pushing up. So it gave some discounts last week, hit this weekly broad information, right? So it was going straight up, pretty much in a nice uptrend consistently, month over month, and how the quarters are just kind of been pushing up, right? Gave some discounts here, gave some discounts. I actually got into some weekly contracts here for this week to push up, and we're expecting first stop end of the week at minimum maybe around 61, something like that, right, for this week. So that should be a nice move there. And one that I really really love, uh Campbell Soup. This is at a really really low level, depressed price, great discount, and I'll show you what this kind of looks like. Let me give you the corporate data on this real quick before I get into that. Earnings on 6/2/25. Let's go ahead and check out this yearly chart, and I'm going to actually maximize this for you guys. This one's pretty easy right here, in my opinion. So going to this yearly chart. Matter of fact, I'm gonna actually no, I'll leave this here. I'm on this yearly chart. You can kind of see these levels. Um, where it's come down to, right? So it's hit major yearly lows. So let's count the years back: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this is about 5 year low, or so we're at a really good level. We had this outside bar here, 2019. We're kind of continuing this uptrend, and we got this discount. You could see, and I'll mark up this price level so you guys can kind of see how I like to look at these stocks. It's really just a matter of buying low, selling high. 34.27, right? And you can see we're barely above that. I mean, it just barely took off there. If we can go to this quarterly chart, you can kind of see what we're looking like. It's starting to form this nice little hammer up. A lot of people, they mistake price action in terms of looking at candle colors. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little lesson in price action. You can't really focus on the candle colors too much. The reason is because the colors of the candles change depending on the price action. So for example, this is a quarterly chart on Campbell Soup. Right now, this is all the way down, and this quarterly is a red, right? What I understand is that reversals are a true reversal means the candles will go from red and they will turn back green. When the candles turn back green, that is when you get buyers who start to come in later because they start to get this bias once they see the candle green. So, for example, this candle that's green, when the candle was down here, the candle was red. The candle ended up turning back green, right? So I expect this candle to potentially do the same thing, push back up, and you can see the low levels that we're coming off of. Let's go check this out on the monthly chart here. You can see how it kind of start to form this nice little hammer there. This was it's red, and I believe this is going to turn green before the end of the month. This is May 18th. So then it'll set up for the 2 month and that looks really really strong. Push up to around this $42 mark to start. When you get these stocks at depressed prices, it's very very easy to get things like leaps. Leap is any contract, technically I guess over a year, but you know, if contracts they have may have like 2027s and different things like that, and they create some opportunities. You know, if people want to get in long term, a lot of times they can do stuff like that, take advantage of leaps, and just kind of use those like bank accounts on these. So I really really love Campbell's at these levels, and if this gets to going, then this should take off. I don't see any reason why this should not take off, right? So I'm not going to worry about the PE ratios or anything like that. All this is simply buy low, sell high. It's going to work, right? And this is not financial advice, but you know, I do this. Like a lot of people think, like, oh, I get really, really lucky. Like, how does he always pick these stocks that go up 1,000% and all this kind of stuff? It's easier to turn one penny into two pennies than it is to turn $1 into $2, right? So I want to find things that are at a discount. These are at the discount. You can see all the way down to levels, you know, 2012, and then around these 2017, 18 levels, right? So I expect over the course of time, especially if you're, you know, long-term shareholders, Campbell Soup, you know, pays a dividend. So they've been around. We all know Campbell Soup, right? So I don't think they're going anywhere right now. And so this one looks really, really good long term. As far as entries on this one, I actually got an entry on a 1 minute chart just because we really want to try to get in at this best price. You can kind of see what the price action has been doing. And this is pretty much the level we're going to be looking at. It's actually going to be a 1 minute above $35.52. Now, if you were to get any further discounts, this is what you always want to take advantage of. Maybe you get some kind of, you know, short term retracement, high lows. We're at around 35.50. So yeah, there's only a couple penny difference in there. So I expect this to definitely be strong, maybe get a little bit of consolidation, but overall, I believe this will be really, really strong out the gate. So I don't really see why not. So with that being said, I am looking forward to having an absolutely wonderful week. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, ideas, thoughts, make sure to put those down in the comments below. If you guys get any wins, make sure to put those in the comments below as well. But like I said, I'm looking forward to having a great week, an absolutely wonderful week, a profitable week, and hopefully this helped you out. It's your man, Boss Game VIP, with the weekly Money Watch. I'm out. Peace.